Well, welcome back everybody to our Crusader Kings II Let's Play. In the last few episodes we've seen ourselves sort of carving our way through Middle England. We secured a pretty strong foothold up here in the northern half of England. And of course we've slowly watched as the middle petty kingdoms of the British Isles have sort of descended into anarchy and have broken away from their leaders, which have been good for us because it means that we've been able to sort of swallow up more territory of the minor little counties and duchies that have broken away. So in this episode, of course, we're going to continue our sort of land grab and our race against our brother Ivar up here in the newly formed Scotland. We've got a few targets. These guys here have broken away from their Denmark rulers, which are of course these guys over here. So as long as they remain at war with Denmark, it should mean that we will be able to take these provinces. Of course, we now have access to Wales over here through Chester. These three territories are available to us, as well as these ones down here. And of course, we're trying to sow some descent into Norfolk and Suffolk, and in the hopes that they will actually break away from our brother up here in Scotland and perhaps give us a new target. Our biggest target at the moment is probably Lincoln, though. Now, we can press de jure claims against them, against this guy here, but unfortunately we do have a truce against them, which means we can't do it unless, well, we can, but we're just going to take a really big penalty to our prestige. So to avoid doing that, we're not going to go to war with him until 884, which is when our truce expires. It will be, I think, 10 years after or 5 years after our last war with them. So once that time's up, they can pretty much kiss that county goodbye, because that's going to be absorbed into the mighty Jorvik. So in this episode, we're probably going to take some territories from Wales over here. Straight off, I'm probably going to go to war with this guy here, or at least his liege, and I'm going to conquest of Perwiffeled. Well, I probably pronounced that really badly, so we're just going to call it Perth. So I got to go war straight with him, and we can call in our allies of Ivar, and he will most likely join us, and we're just going to raise our military. The good thing is, the more territory we have, the bigger our army gets. So of course there's more benefits to having bigger land than just looking cooler. Now we're going to have a check at what our council's doing. My brother has joined the war. Our council seems to be doing, everybody's doing something at least. We've got some guys training troops, collecting taxes, which is good, studying technology. Let's see. Currently in Northumberland to proselytize. Northumberland. Okay, so he's probably converting them to Norse and sowing dissent, of course. Alright, so that's good. It's still saying we're going to lose that territory, so I might have to make the son who's going to inherit that a bishop, of course. And hopefully that means he won't be able to inherit the title, and probably cause him not to go to war with us once the succession goes on. Because our guy, half down the white shirt, is getting fairly old. He is 55. I believe he's ill as well, is he? No, he's wounded. So there's a big chance that he may die sometime in the next 5-10 years. Perhaps even sooner. So anything we can do to sort of stabilize our territories. Okay, whoops, looks like my army has joined up, and I'm going to march straight onto Wales here. This should be over fairly quickly, although they do have a lot of men defending that castle, but that's alright, we have more. I'm actually going to chase down these 900. So yeah, as I was saying, our sons are probably going to be a problem when my heir inherits. Big chance there'll be a succession crisis. I become a more proficient commander. Awesome. Alright, so he's got an even more marshal. He was already at something like 24. Okay. Yeah, so when the succession happens, there's a big chance there's going to be some sort of crisis, and he's become a coward. Okay. And in that case, if there is a succession crisis, we may have to march on our own brothers, which a big chance will happen. But we can sort of prevent that by actually killing them off now. Except it doesn't look like it wants to let me plot against my own sons. Let's see. Probably because I have this plot against her. So I'm going to go back and see if I can plot against my sons. And it's still not letting me. Okay, let me just see my son. The woman that I was plotting against was probably my son's wife. Yeah, it was. Because I don't want her having any more kids. That'll just cause a problem when the succession for my son happens. So in 2 generations' time. So I am going to kill her. Because we do have 108%, which means we don't even need to bring anybody else into it. But we'll see if anybody wants to join. Nobody wants to join. She's probably too well loved, which is fine. It's not a big deal as long as we're over 100%. Doesn't bother me. That way, if we kill her, she won't birth any more sons, and you know, it won't be another problem that I have to deal with down the line. Although if she does, I may have to kill the sons. So this siege seems to be going fairly slow. There's not much really to do. Denmark seems to be struggling against this this smaller force. So hopefully, perhaps the smaller territory will actually win its independence. Which, if they do, means that they're going to be an even better target for me, because I don't particularly want to get involved in Scandinavian sort of wars. I don't want to get involved with Denmark over here, because big chance Denmark will actually sail over and kick my ass. So to avoid that from happening, I really want Warwick to win its independence, and I can attack Warwick instead of Denmark. Looks like my Chancellor died, which isn't good. We're going to have this guy here sow descent in Norfolk. Excellent news. So we're getting some more money in now, but it's still really, we've only got less than 2 gold a month, which is very low, which is why I can't really afford to go around assassinating people. So it looks like we won that siege. We're already at 88%. And our Marshal is telling us that we have plenty of troops in Jorvik. Hopefully after we have a couple of years of rest with no war, we'll be able to spawn a few more troops than what we can now. We've only got about 2,000 or 2,500 at maximum, but if we leave it for another few years, we should be able to get up to 4,000 or so. The little boy has offered us peace, so I'm going to accept, and of course we now have too many titles. Now, someone explained to me how this sort of system works. I didn't realize that because I'm now holding the wrong holding of demesnes, it means that I have like a bishopric or a town when I'm only supposed to be holding castles. So all you have to do is literally create a new vassal. Instead of having to go through and find people to give the land to, it just makes life a lot easier. Now, I probably could have given the temple to one of my sons, which I probably should have, but it's a bit late now, and I suppose we'll wait until the next county we take. So the demesnes is now still too big, so we're going to give some land off to, let's see, anyone really, it doesn't really matter. This guy here, grant landed title, you can have this county, and that fixed out that problem. Our grandson can actually be educated, so I'm going to educate him under myself so that he gets the best possible handpicked traits. And still press the dual claims, title loss and succession. I can create some titles, but I really don't have the money for it. Well, I mean, I can do it, but I'm just not going to be able to recuperate that money fast enough. If I have a war where I need to hire some mercenaries, I'd be kind of stuck. So I'm just going to let some time pass here. It looks like there's a huge plague sort of ravishing the middle of the British Isles. Which isn't good. Looks like, is that my mother? Yeah, my mother just died. Okay, not a big deal, but you know, she was quite old actually. Well, my guy's now 56. He's still wounded, which is giving him a negative bonus to health and martial. The martial isn't a problem at all because he's got 22. But I'm really worried about him dying and then the succession crisis kicking in. That's alright. And this is good. My diplomat has managed to sow dissent in Norfolk. Hopefully that means that they're going to break away from Ivar, especially because the relative space between them is so massive. But really, anything that I can do to break away these minor little territories is good for me. Alright, so over here, Okay, it looks like my marshal just died actually as well. What did he die of? I don't know. Let's see. He's got a marshal of 14, which is good enough for me. I'm going to keep him training troops. Not really much else for him to do. I could have him research military technology, but no real point doing it at the moment. We've still got these 2 territories which we can't go to war with because we'll have a truce with the boy. We've got these 3 down here that I could probably do a grab for, but not really at the moment. Let's see. Okay, this lady almost ran me down as I entered the hall. Tearfully, she told me that my grandson Halfdan had insulted her again. So I can get him to have the honest trait, which reduces intrigue but improves diplomacy. Okay, I can make him lose it, or I can have him have the chance of gaining deceitful, which improves intrigue and reduces diplomacy. So I kind of want him to be honest, so I'm going to give him the honest trait. I know it damages intrigue, but really, once you get +3 diplomacy, more people like you, and you have less sort of problems like that. So, now for the next target, I'm thinking it looks like these guys are actually beating Denmark in that war. Hopefully, they can break away sometime soon and become an independent nation, because that way I'll be able to target them. If I target them and go to war with them now, and then Denmark wins the war, even if I'm halfway through their siege and I'm at 99% war score, if Denmark wins and these guys get absorbed back, I don't actually get the territory. So I want to make sure that these guys will win the war before I sort of waste my time and troop numbers. Plus, it's good for this minor rest period so that the troop numbers increase. Looks like the plot power's gone down, but there's a few more people who want to join me, so I'm going to get my son in on this this plot, and I'm going to get some more people in there. Let's see, Grimmer, yeah, I just gave him land, he's happy to help me out. This isn't really essential because she might not actually have any more kids, but I mean, her husband, so my heir, is happy to kill his own wife, so I might as well get him in on that one. Yeah, really, it's just to stop him from having any more kids. Let's see, so it looks like my seer has managed to convert some of the population, so I'm just going to have a quick look at the religion. So still not Norse enough for me, but we're getting there. We're getting there. This territory has become Norse recently, I think. A few more people are willing to join my plot. Ireland's looking like a pretty decent target in the future. Lots of little counties, little areas that we can take. I don't know how many troops that they're going to offer us, but still better than having nothing. Plus, of course, you have to have a certain amount of land to be able to form any sort of kingdoms or titles like that. So, if we want to form the title of England, we're going to have all this territory. And if we want to form the title of, I think it's Britannia, or Britain, or something like that, it'll allow us, if we have majority of this, I think it'll give us claims on any little territories that we haven't actually yet snatched up. And of course, that means that we'll be able to change our name to something like Britannia, which is kind of cool, especially because it's an empire. My co-conspirator Freya has hired someone to saw through the supports of the railing on a balcony Linda is known to frequent. Someone may soon take a bit of a tumble. So we'll see if this plot works out. And she really doesn't like me. I don't know if she's discovered the plot or not, but yeah, she doesn't seem to have a very high opinion of me. And she died, so it's whether or not people have found out. Success. Linda fell to the ground like a piece of rotten fruit from the balcony when the railing gave way. A tragic accident as far as anyone is concerned. Okay, so nobody actually knows that I did it, so that's good. Hopefully this kid doesn't die. If he dies, then we have a problem. But I wouldn't wager on it. That would be very, very unlucky. It's 82 now, so another couple of years before we can actually take Lincoln, but it looks like Denmark is losing its war here. Although I'm not quite sure why they haven't moved their forces over here. I'm tempted just to go straight to war with Warwick now. I watched my grandson Halfdan at play with another child yesterday and noticed that he didn't want to share his toys. Let's see, so I can make him greedy or try and go for charitable. I'd love for him to be charitable. Let's see. I might as well go for this one. This seems like the best option. And I think he's still greedy, but that's alright. Fear has loosened its grip on me and I stand tall against the things I used to fear. No one can call me Craven anymore. So I've lost the Craven trait which we gained before during that war. I'm going to actually go to war with Warwick now. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but we can give it a shot. So I'm going to declare war on him. And that's immediately made that army a threat to us. Looks like we can now raise almost 4,000 troops, which is good. I'm going to pull them all into Jorvik and then form some sort of massive army against these little territories. And it looks like I'm going to lose that army if I don't move them that way. And that war ended. Okay, so that's what I thought would happen. I'm not sure if that's because we sort of pushed them into it or because there was a stalemate, I don't know, but that war ended, so I can no longer claim those territories, but you know. So it looks like we're gonna have to wait for Lincoln to become available before we can do anything. At some point we are going to turn our sights to Wessex because they are a very good target. They're going to be very strong, but hopefully we'll be able to have the men to take them on. Especially if we can get Ivar in on our plan. If he can send some supporting troops down, we can definitely take on Wessex together. And if I can take out most of Wessex, perhaps some of the richer territories, like most likely Middlesex, because I think that's where London is. Oxford, Essex, I'm sure they're pretty decent territories down here. The old wound is aggravating and painful. May Thor have mercy on us. So Halfdan has now become ill, probably from that wound. So there's a big chance he'll die pretty soon. He's now 58, and he died. Alright, so looks like we may be dealing with some succession problems, but we'll see what happens. King Halfdan Whiteshirt is no longer guardian of Halfdan Sigfridsson. Gonna struggle with these names. Alright, so this is the kid that we were educating, of course, my grandson. Goodfried is no longer spymaster for Halfdan. Okay, and of course we are now playing as King Sigfrid of Jorvik. So, let's see. We lost these two territories, which is what they were talking about. So they didn't actually become separate territories, but they're no longer in our control. I believe we only actually have Jorvik now, which is correct because we only have 1 out of 2 demesnes occupied, which isn't fun, but you know, I'll see if I can do something about that. Of course, once we take another territory, we can just keep the county for ourselves anyway, or we can just make sure we manage our vassals very, very well so that they give us a similar amount of troops as if we were actually owning the territory ourselves. So the 2 territories we lost was, let's see, Leicester down here and Dunholm. Okay, so it's not too bad. The real problem is whether or not my brothers are going to sort of raise up against me. We do have some open council positions now, so our spymaster disappeared. I'm going to make my brother, or my half-brother at least, the spymaster. Actually, that's a really terrible idea. I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to make Grimmer. He really doesn't like me either. Mainly because it's a short reign. Nobody likes me because of the short reign, but I don't really want to make my brother the spymaster because that sort of gives him the ability to take the crown if he wants to. So I'm going to get him to study technology in Middlesex probably. I really don't want him scheming or plotting or whatever in my own lands. I'll just try and keep him as far away as possible. I'm going to pick an ambition. Let's see. Usually it'd be get married. But because I don't want him to get married, I don't want my rulers to be married when I'm a Norse and I have this sort of succession system. Becoming King of England. He's 40. He's pretty old. His father died 18 years older than what he is now. So that's probably not going to happen. If I do that, I won't be able to change it. So I'm going to pick something that I'm really bad at. I'm terrible at learning. So I'm going to improve my learning. Probably should have gone for state intrigue, but after we've done our learning, we'll go for state intrigue to make sure that nobody's trying to stab us in the back. Our martial isn't anywhere close to what it used to be with Halfdan, his father, which was 20 something. So it looks like my steward has picked up some more money from the territory that he's extorting money from. We've got some dangerous factions. Okay, this is a problem. Okay, so my spy master, Grimmer, is trying to put my half-brother into power, and they have over 70% of my power, 75% of my power. Ragnar for Jorvik, my other half-brother, is being, let's see, he's promoting himself. So there's nobody else supporting these factions, but they're still pretty dangerous. This guy's almost the exact same amount of men as we can summon all together, and we're not really pulling that much money or enough money to buy mercenaries if we do go to war with them. So the only real option we can do is actually, let's see. I'd love to make him like me more. I could take him as a concubine. I could kill him, that's a possibility, but we've only got 18%. Or I can move my spy master into the land that he owns, which I believe is this land here. Yeah, it is. Well, we might do that. I think you can move your spy master to scheme into the territory of a faction leader, and it gives you some extra special little like options and things like that. But yeah, we'll wait to see what happens. Hopefully nobody else joins those factions, because that could be a problem. And we've already got a succession problem. Okay. So, Siegfried, I name you a pretender. Ragnar of Dunholm is the true ruler of Jorvik, as recognised by myself and other nobles. Relinquish the title or there will be war. So yeah, I'm not going to be blackmailed. Hopefully, let's see, how many men does he raise again? 82%, okay. So he just revolted, and that's the only territory he holds, which is okay. So I can only summon 600 men compared to the what was it, the 4,000 we could before. Well, this isn't good. And most of the men, the main majority of the men, comes from the territory I own, which is why it's important to have your own territories. And I have another war now. I name you a pretender. Goodfried of Cumberland is the true ruler of Jorvik. Will not be blackmailed, so I'm going to have another one, break away, which is fine. It's only 800 men, and we have almost half that number, more than half that number. So what I can actually do is just hire a very cheap mercenary unit. They only have 114. Okay, so I can't hire very many mercenaries. Well, I'm not going to hire these guys for 95 gold for 114 troops, so I'm going to make do with the amount of troops that we have now. And hopefully, we'll be able to do something about this. I can probably take out this force here. I'm just going to move these guys along, and hopefully they get there before. Alright, okay, let me just see who's at the head of this army. So we've got Gorm at the head, and then I'll put me on the right flank and Goodfried on the left flank. And hopefully that'll give us a bit more of a chance. I'm going to push up and be the aggressor here. Hopefully we don't lose too many men. If we lose too many men, we've got a problem. Because then we won't have enough men to take out this army here. Really, it hinges on this battle here. Okay, so we already have less men than this army here, and they'll be defending on a river as well. So I'm going to push up and see if I can force these guys to make a truce. Oh man, I missed my 4,000 troops. I'm just going to wipe out these small little armies. They're not really doing anything because they can't. they have to have more attackers than defenders in my settlements. So we're going to see if we can sort of end this piece here. We're already at 42% because they can't get as many men as me, purely because they can only pull up one territory. But it does look like the other guy is being able to pull up a lot more men than me. He now has 900 men. I'm going to take back this territory here and then, I don't know, siege it into the ground, and that'll force the war to end. This is a very slight problem. I can't get any more men. Alright, so we took that land back and we're now at 57%. So if we take this a few times, we'll be able to do it. We may be able to force these guys to surrender by taking these lands here. That seems to be the only thing we can do at the moment. I can't call my uncle into war, can I? Oh man, why can't I do that? We're no longer allied, I don't think. That's not good. His heir. I should try and set up some sort of alliance, but realistically there's nobody here I can actually set up the alliance with, except for this guy here. But I don't think a marriage to him is going to be a no. We don't have anybody that can sort of create an alliance between us. So there's no way our uncle is going to come to war for us because we just don't have any alliance capabilities. And it doesn't look like the military, the mercenaries are going to be much help either, because they only, let's see, actually no, we do have, whoa, okay, so now we can hire mercenaries. If we hadn't had this happen, we would have been in a very terrible position. So we can hire these guys here, which are 1800 troops for 90 gold at 6 gold a month. So it's expensive, but we should be able to take on this force here, which is good. So we're going to merge these two forces, and we can only have them for a certain while, and I really don't want to drain my coffers too quickly. But we're going to take this province here, and then once we've taken that province, we're going to move south into Jorvik, and we'll take these guys head on, and then if that still hasn't pushed the war score high enough, we'll take these two provinces. My liege, I hope fate finds you well. A child needs a proper guardian, and there's nothing more that will please me more, and nothing would please me more than to offer my services as a mentor and a tutor if it pleases thee. Freya. Okay, so I forgot to give these kids guardians, so I'm going to have to give this kid a guardian. Who's Freya? Okay, Freya. Oh, for your daughter, that's fine. You can be, I don't really care about her, but this kid here has to be educated under myself. He hates me and I'm his dad. It's fine. And it's telling me that I'm going to lose a territory, actually. Am I? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. We can now actually go to war with Lincoln after we take these guys, so that should be good. This territory is almost ours. A message to offer to join war. Peace be with you. Your cause is righteous. Please accept my offer to join the war for Wessexian Holy War for Essex. What? Oh no. I didn't even realize we're now at war with Wessex as well. Okay. So my brother wants to help me out, my uncle wants to help me out, so that's good. I don't even know why he's not allied with me, but that's fine with me, because otherwise we would be screwed between civil war and Wessex in the south. So it looks like my brother's going to move south to help me take out Wessex, which is fine because I'm going to deal with these guys up here. In fact, I'm going to quickly speed up this siege. Okay, after a successful siege, your men drag Elin Jute out of her hiding hole. So that's fine. She can be executed in a blight, and we already hit 100% war score. So that's good. We can offer the peace, enforce demands, and that'll put my brother behind bars, which is probably the most important part of that. And I can probably even revoke his lands at some point and give them to even myself. Actually, I'm going to do that. Let's see. Revoke title. No one will care because he is a traitor. I think this is the only title he has. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm going to... let's see. Revoke title. I could assassinate him. Let's see. Execute imprisoned. Nope. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to revoke this title, and it has now become part of my lands, which is good. Now I have an extra title, which I always wanted. Otherwise, I'm just not going to be able to get enough men if I have any more civil wars. As you saw just before, I only managed to get about 10 men from each of these provinces. I'm going to quickly deal with this force here, which is the other, my other brother. So I don't think my brothers saw a mercenary force of this size coming up to meet them. Eric here was captured in battle and is now my prisoner. That's fine. That one battle took us up to 27%. We'll quickly finish off these sieges here. In fact, I'm going to assault it quickly. Okay, so we took that, and we're going to push down here and wipe out these smaller armies. So that is a sizable force coming up to meet me, so I'm not going to move my men there actually. Okay, that's Wessex. So Wessex is bringing the bigger forces to try and take me on. Where's my brother? My brother is down here. So my brother, I don't even know what my brother is doing. He's not being helpful at all. If I don't move, I'm going to lose that entire army. He's suffering from attrition, which is good. And my daughter, my niece, came of age. And my prisoner is complaining. She can rot in the cell. My son Halfdan is not exerting himself in his studies. I am starting to despair. He is just dense. What can I do? So he can either become slothful or diligent. I'm going to make him... try and get him to become diligent. He has become diligent, which is good. I really want my brother to help me out in this battle, so is my brother going to come to my aid? It doesn't look like it, and we're going to lose our entire force, which is fine because they're mostly mercenaries. Well, that's a pain in the ass. Well, okay, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disband my hired troops, otherwise they're just costing me money, and hopefully my brother will be able to deal with these Wessex forces up here. My brother is complaining about his cell. I'm going to let him rot. We're at 44% for my other brother, and he still seems intent on sieging Jorvik. In fact, I probably should have kept that army, the hired mercenaries up, but they were sort of draining my money a bit too much. Let's see. It looks like Ivar's going to go for this force here, so I'm going to join him in that battle. And hopefully that'll push the war score right up. Which it did, push it up to 47%. So I don't think my Ivar's going to chase him down. No, he's not. So while Ivar deals with the Wessexmen in the south, I'm going to have to deal with these forces up here. And I don't think I can pull any more troops from anywhere. Actually, I can. I can pull 1,300 troops. I wish it was 13,000. Alright, so I'm going to pull these guys up here, and we're going to take on this remaining force of Grimmer. And then once that's over, we can settle that war, put him behind bars, and find a better ruler for his counties. So might as well join up in Jorvik. So far, I mean, I expected a succession crisis to happen. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, though, so that's good. We managed to take them on. Good thing those mercenaries came when they could, and it was a good thing that Ivar wanted to help me out with my war against Essex, otherwise that could have been a serious problem. Lately, I've become afraid that someone might want to hurt me. I am thinking of hiring 2 food tasters. Okay, so my guy's become paranoid. Okay, so he can either become paranoid or trusting.
I'm going to make him become paranoid, because that increases the intrigue anyway, so that's fine. I've lost a councilman, my chancellor has died. I'm going to make him my chancellor, and I'm going to make him sow descent in Norfolk. One child lacks a guardian, that's Grimmer. Who's that? Okay, so Grimmer is the son of my traitorous brother. So, I'm going to educate the child under someone really, really stupid, like her. And that'll stop any sort of problems in the future if he wants to take my crown. So what we're going to do is, because this episode's stretching on for a little bit, I've received word that your chancellor is trying to agitate the nobles of my realm by spreading lies about me in Norfolk. Rest assured, this outrageous behaviour will not stand. Ooh, okay, my bad. Alright, doesn't really matter. Yeah, so this episode's stretching on a little bit, so I'm going to try and end this war quickly. By taking, I'm not going to be able to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the episode here, and next episode we're going to finish off this war with our brother, which shouldn't take too much more effort. And then of course we'll move down south and help our uncle with the war against Wessex. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. If you want to see any more of this series, then please subscribe. And until next time, have a good one. See ya.